The aim for 2026 is to be smart and sexy. So hi everyone. Happy New Year, happy 2026. I'm wishing you all the most amazing, beautiful, healthy, happy 2026 ever. Yeah, this is my first video of the year, which, can you believe it? Honestly, 2025 really did a personality switch on me. I'm not mad about it. So my word for 2026 is build, and we're gonna talk about it. I thought I would do a video all about my goals for this year, how you can make it your best year too. Yeah, I hope this just gives people some inspo, hopefully a bit of motivation as well. I'm seeing a lot of content at the minute about goal setting and how to set yourself up for success. There's a lot of content out there. I'm also finding it very overwhelming, and I hope I don't have that effect with this video. It's more just fun vibes over here, and if it can positively impact you, then I guess that's the aim. So if this is your first time seeing me before, my name is Grace. I'm a 23-year-old living in the northwest of the UK. I'm a solo homeowner living alone. I'm also a full-time freelance product photographer, and I enjoy anything from fitness to reading to running to cooking to just the little things in life. So I guess if you're in your 20s, if you live alone, you love training, you love anything creative, then this is kind of the place for you. I guess I've spent kind of the last couple of weeks, especially over the Christmas period, kind of reminiscing on how transformative 2025 has been as a year for me. I've done a lot of posts and content on my other platforms about it, which I will leave links below, to kind of give you a bit of a summary in terms of the ups and downs I've been through in 2025. I went through my first breakup, I lost my granddad to dementia, I ran my first marathon, I bought my first home, I had another really amazing year in business, I got offered a full-time job, which I'm starting this year. There's just been so many ups and downs in 2025. I have walked away from the year feeling so sure of myself and so much more confident than I ever thought possible, and I think the lessons I've taken away from 2025 is genuinely like irreplaceable. And so I feel like for the first time ever I'm entering 2026 in this real refreshed, confident mindset. I'm really excited about it. I've never felt so content. I'm really proud of what I've done in the last year and everything that I've worked towards and everything that I'm going to continue to work towards, which I guess is the point of this video. So I have used a couple of resources to kind of navigate my goals for 2026 and how to keep them aligned throughout the year, because I think it's really easy to sit down in January and make a list of goals that you want to achieve, and then it gets to March, April time and you're sat there going, what was my resolution for the year again? I have a few different methods as to how I structure my goals for 2026 and for every new year, I guess, but I thought I would share a few of my favorites just in case they help any of you. The first one that I like to do every single year is choose a word that kind of encapsulates what I want to achieve that year. So for example, 2025, my word was consistency. I definitely achieved it in some aspects. For example, running my marathon and training for that, I was incredibly consistent and I was able to run the marathon as a result of that. But I also didn't do it in the sense of I really wanted to make a lot more YouTube videos than what I actually ended up doing in 2025. My word for the year always acts as a bit of a mantra. If I ever want to realign myself with my goals and what I'm doing, I will always go back to the word of the year. For 2026, my word is build, as I mentioned at the start of the video, and build to me means so many different things for this year. Building my business, my personal brand, building up my fitness, building incredible relationships and confidence. I think the word build kind of summarizes for me and what it means to me this year. It's a really nice and simple way to encapsulate a mindset or a mentality that you want to adopt in the year. So I would highly recommend that if you don't already. A new reflection that I've done this year, which I have found so helpful so far, is I've gotten really into my podcasts in the last couple of weeks, and Modern Wisdom by Chris Williamson has been a solid favourite of mine for the last couple of months now. I watched a video where he talks about goal setting for the year. He goes on to say that the number one way that he goal set for his year and for his success is to sit there and say, by the end of 2026, what do I have to have achieved for me to have deemed the year a success? I think it's a really great question because it's really simple. What do I need to look back on this time next year to have deemed the year a success? What do I have to have done? It's a really simple way to kind of whittle down what it is that you really want to get right at the end of the year, and you've got to keep it so super simple. I've kept mine to strictly 2 points. I think he does as well. Yeah, my two main takeaways that I want to walk away from the end of 2026 with is having built my personal brand, and secondly, to exit my lonely chapter. Now, to talk about my personal brand first, it's kind of a bit of a shift that I've gone through in the last couple of weeks, I guess. Obviously, I'm full-time product photographer and majority of my social media revolves around the photography that I do, which makes a lot of sense because it's my business, my income. But I have also just been making content since I was 12 years old when I started my beauty blog, and I love sharing the little quirks about my life. I feel like I am so much more than just a photographer, and I guess what I've learned in the last year or so is that I don't want to constrain my identity to just one thing. I think a lot of of people don't just follow me for my work, but also for just the life that I live and for the things that I enjoy talking about. Obviously, I've become a bit of a fitness bunny in the last year or so. I've also started living alone. I love self-development. I love reading. All these different like nuances to my life. Obviously, they're not anything out the ordinary because a lot of people are into the same things I'm into, but I guess I just want to talk about it and I want to share it. Like, I want to find my people. That is kind of the number one goal that I really want to walk away from the end of 2026 with. It's a big aim of mine, is just to kind of test and trial loads of things. Like I said, build content and just figure out what it is that I want to be sharing. So this is hopefully going to help me with that. Yeah, it's the number one thing that I want to do this year, I guess. My other goal, which is a bit more of a personal one, is I want to leave 2026 having exited my lonely chapter. And again, this is kind of a term that Chris Williamson uses, but one I find really relatable, and that's this idea of your lonely chapter. Now, I don't think I'll do the explanation justice, but basically your lonely chapter is when you're in a phase that you've outgrown your old friends, but you haven't yet reached the level to make new friends. And I relate to this so much. I have never had a big group of friends. I've never been a particularly popular person. I've just never had a big circle around me ever. And I don't mind that. But I think for me, I have done a lot of outgrowing, especially in the last year where I've kind of gone through all these different things in my life. I also don't feel like I'm at a phase to meet these new people who I'm on the same level with. I guess I've just really related to me being in this lonely chapter. And I guess when I'm saying exit the lonely chapter, what that really means is just to make new friends. And this isn't like tea to any of my current friends, because I love the people I have around me and I wouldn't change them for the world. But you have friends from childhood that you stick with throughout the whole of your life. And I feel like what I'm missing in my life is those friends that you make in your 20s that you have similar interests with and that help you build and grow and motivate and inspire you. And yes, my childhood friends do a lot of that as well. But I think we all do such different things now. There's a lot of struggles that I have that they don't necessarily relate to, and I guess for me, I would just like to make some meaningful connections in my 20s that make me feel less alone in lots of aspects of my life. For example, I don't think I have like one friend that's into running or fitness, and it's such a huge part of my life, and I would love to have some friends to do that with. So as for the main bulk of my goals for 2026, I actually asked ChatGPT to break them down into pillars for me so that I can better explain them to you guys. Yeah, hopefully these give you some like inspo and help level up your game as well for 2026. There's loads of different pillars, I guess, that I want to achieve in the next year. Anything broadened from health to my business to finances. I think it's important to have a couple of goals under each that you want to just get knuckled down for the year. Pillar number one, I've already spoken about it a lot, but that is building a personal brand. And it doesn't just look like videos that you see on YouTube and Instagram. For me, it's a lot of giving up time elsewhere on other projects. Obviously, I'm a full-time product photographer. I spend a lot of my time editing, shooting, loads of admin, loads of pre-production. A huge goal for mine this year is to keep the standard and quality that I have in the business right now, but to spend less time doing it. So what that looks like is outsourcing a lot more. I have been dabbling with outsourcing for like the last 2 years, and I really just want to take the plunge and give up some of my control to free up more time for me to do things like these YouTube videos, to do things like diversifying my income streams and posting more online and learning more. And it's going to be a huge mentality shift for me because I struggle so much in giving up elements of my business, but I know subconsciously that it's what I need to do in order to diversify my income and build other things outside of my photography business. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a really great shift for me. A couple of like metrics, I guess, for my personal brand is I want to post 52 YouTube videos. That is once a week. It was my goal for last year. I was nowhere near achieving it. Yeah, 52 long form YouTube videos. It is such a huge focus of mine this year, and I don't want to take my eye off the ball. I mean, I've had the goal forever to have hit 10,000 followers on any kind of platform, and I guess I would still really love to do that. The likelihood for me is probably hitting 10k on Instagram. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Instagram at the minute. These trial reels are really fun for me, so I hope I kind of keep the same level of fun and enjoyment for content as I do right now. And I obviously know that it ebbs and flows, but this idea of going into my personal brand and speaking about things that is just my life, I think I'm going to find it so much more enjoyable and so much more forgiving. Pillar number 2 is financial. I think as a solo homeowner, you reevaluate your finances a lot. For me, I just want to build back up my savings pots. So I have spent obviously a lot of money on the deposit for this house, but I've also spent a lot of money renovating it. Those renovation costs were sat in my savings account for years and years, so I always felt such security in seeing that money. Obviously, I knew I was going to spend it on renovating, and now that I spent the money, I don't regret it whatsoever, but I would like to have some more security in my savings account. I would also love to start overpaying on my mortgage. Now, this is a bit of a niche thing, I guess. I don't know if everyone overpays on their mortgage, but I would love to pay off this house ASAP. And if that looks like overpaying a mortgage, then that's what I'm gonna do. Pillar 3 is kind of fitness related. So I want to keep with the fitness that I've been kind of up leveling in 2025. I have become a mega gym bunny. Obviously I've gotten really into running. I have found such a love and admiration for fitness this year, and it has transformed my brain, it's transformed my body. I love it so much. I don't know where I would be without it. So I guess for me 2026 just looks like maintaining that. I have set myself a cheeky little goal in running to run 12 races in 12 months. I just fancy doing a race every single month in 2026 basically. I love running and I love running races and I love running with other people, and I just want 2026 to finish with 12 medals in my pocket. Kind of a measurable goal in my fitness realm for 2026. Other things I want to do, I want to try some new styles of movement. So I'm going to Thailand at the end of this month where I want to be learning some Muay Thai. I also want to take back up my heels dancing, which I loved last year but I just didn't have a lot of time for with marathon training. So would love to get back into heels, and swimming as well I've written down because I feel like I would really enjoy it and I've never really given it a go. Other like fitnessy goals which I think are a bit more common but I've still written them down: to walk more. I literally live a 5-minute walk away from my new job and my gym, so I don't think there's an excuse for me not to get my steps in when I could just walk there instead of driving. I also want to cook more meals at home, so what that looks like is one new recipe every single month. I absolutely love cooking, and I guess for me just being more consistent with trying new recipes, keeping food exciting and meal prepping as well is just something that I want to get really good at this year. I've also said to try some new run clubs and gym classes. I am so introverted, and again this kind of links to the whole lonely chapter concept, but I would really love to join a run club and try some new gym classes in the hopes that it obviously expands my circle. Just puts me out of my comfort zone as well. I think it's really important. Speaking of lonely chapter, that is kind of pillar number 4, I guess. So for me it's a lot of building connections intentionally. I really want to kind of just get myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, meet new people and maintain the relationships with those people as well. I would love to, like I said, join run clubs and join gym classes in the hopes to make new friends. Also just like pouring into me. I think the more you pour into yourself, the more likely you are to attract people that will be an asset to you. Yeah, to me, I would just love to take myself on some more solo dates. I've written down a solo trip to Europe, which I really want to get booked for the summer of this year. If you've got any recommendations, please let me know in the comments. Pillar 5, becoming sexy and smart is how I've called it. What that looks like for me is becoming more well-spoken. I guess YouTube helps me a lot with that. I don't consider myself very well-spoken. I don't articulate my thoughts very well. The amount of times I have to edit out of these videos is ridiculous. So becoming more articulate is definitely like a goal up there, and becoming more of a people's person in the sense of being more magnetic, like more convincing, being more attractive in that sense. I think I could become a much better person to interact with. So I guess that is something I really want to learn and kind of study. So I've given myself the goal of 30 books. I've not said whether they need to be fiction or non-fiction. It's going to be a combination of the two. I've currently got a fiction and a non-fiction that I'm reading alongside each other so far, and that's working really well for me. So it'll be a combination of like smutty fantasy and self-development books. I would like to write more regularly, and this could look like to me keeping a public or private journal, I guess. Now, I had a beauty blog from the ages of 12 to 18. Basically my entire teenage years were spent blogging and writing for online, and I've really lost that in the last couple of years. Something that I've just been thinking a lot about is that I have so much to say and so much to share, and yes, video formatting and my personal brand fits into that, but writing feels so therapeutic to me, and like I said, it's kind of nostalgic for me as well, as it reminds me so much of my beauty blog. So I would love to find a way in which I can write to the world. I know a lot of people are going to say Substack, and I do think I will give Substack a go because, like I said, my interests have changed a lot since I was a teenager. I don't think I'll be reviewing cosmetics and clothes anytime soon, but the idea of just writing and putting something out there into the world is so exciting to me. Yeah, that is something I would love to have as a weekly discipline this year. Take more photos. Now, given that I'm a photographer full-time and it is my entire livelihood, you won't catch me taking photos ever. I don't take photos of anything when I'm not in work, and I think that is kind of crazy, and I really want to be that person that just has everything documented. That is a goal for 2026, and it's a goal I literally write down nearly every single year, and they are all of my pillars for 2026. So hopefully that's given you guys a bit of like inspo for how you can up level your year as well, and if you relate to any of the goals, please let me know in the comment. I guess for me it's really overwhelming to look at all those goals and think, oh my god, how am I going to get to 2026 having ticked them all off? There's no pressure to kind of tick them all off, I guess, because things change and circumstances change and life gets in the way, and that's totally understandable. But I think realigning yourself as consistently as you can is such a great way to set yourself up for success for the year if these are things that you really do want to achieve. Now, what that looks like for me is breaking down a checklist both weekly and monthly. So what do I need to have done every single week that keeps me aligned with these goals, and what do I need to have ticked off every single month to keep me aligned with these goals. For example, my weekly checklist is a YouTube video, because I want to post 52 YouTube videos this year, and that looks like one video a month. So one YouTube video every single week. I would like to do a photo dump every single week. That keeps me encouraged to take photos and to document and to also build the personal brand. I would also love to have done one piece of writing at least every single week. Again, that fits into me being smart and sexy, and just also delving back into old interests. Monthly checklist, if anyone's interested. One race a month, obviously 12 races in 12 months. I need to have had one ticked off every single month. One new recipe fits in with my cooking goal. I want to try at least one new recipe every single month. I want to have read at least 2 books. I want to have done one personal project with my product photography business, just to keep me aligned creatively and just to keep the spark kind of there with the business. One solo date every single month as well, whether that looks like taking myself out for breakfast or going to the cinema or going abroad. As big or small as it is, one solo date, just to, like I said, pour into myself, put myself into new environments. So I guess that wraps up my video, guys. I feel like I've spilled the beans a lot over here. Like I said, I'm really excited this year to test and try loads of new different types of content. I feel like I've got so many interests that I want to share and speak about. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year. I hope you guys are as well. If you did subscribe to me last year and you enjoyed the content, there's going to be so much more of it this year with 52 videos, I promise. If you're building alongside me and we have some similar goals, then I would love for you guys to follow along. I'm so excited to share more of the journey this year, and I just think it's going to be a really good one. So if you got to the end of this video, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely subscribe and keep up with the journey, guys, because I feel really good about this year, and I'm just really excited to be here, to be honest. I'm really excited to be here. So much love. I will see you in the next one, and yeah, let's have a gorgeous year.